placing a high demand level on abiding by all of those rules.
Right.
When the purpose of why we're hiring him is for health, life, and safety of focusing on the lifeguarding. Those other things are not diminishing them.
But Rebecca, there was a safety issue, I just want to, I don't know if you were aware of it right before you came in, and it was, it would have been helpful, it was
With the trespassing.
the trespassing.
Right, so I'm knowledgeable of that, but I'm also trying to place myself in the situation. It's no different than sometimes like an officer or firefighter, when there are multiple things going on in a scenario at that time. Eric's gonna need to work with his crew to determine what the most appropriate action is, and it may not hit all of those, because they have to work in some level of priority. So just like I would never say to an officer or someone else, I need you to tell me what you're gonna prioritize before you get into the incident, I can't realistically do that with them. And I don't think that we can as a board. I think we want him to be aware of them, that there's gonna need to be some latitude on his behalf in providing that service, and the lifeguards to make those decisions and know that they can call in for additional assistance. Because I don't think it's a realistic scenario for you.
I totally agree. Can I ask
Okay.
a question, a legal question?
Can I just say then, I mean, then I wish that we had written the contract that way. I mean, it's more on Mr. Gibson, because, for example, to me, it is important that the dog rule is enforced. So, and that's a rule, and it's in here, and he says he's gonna enforce it. So, I mean, maybe we should amend it to say, we'll meet with the village to discuss rules and regulations, specific rules and regulations to be enforced. Maybe we should take that out. I mean, as it's written now, it gives the village the authority to say to him, this is a rule and regulation, and you said you would enforce it. So I'm just, you know.
Another way of thinking of it is it sort of compels the village to prioritize all the rules and regulations that are on the beach, right?
No, well, the way it's written now, we don't have to prioritize. The way this contract is written.
Right, and the consequence of that could be disastrous, right? So if you...
So I think we should change this.
Great, yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Nathan, I don't know if it's called in order or point question, but, so I'm just concerned for the operator more so for liability reasons.
Sure.
If it's written that way, my husband's a personal injury attorney and they always contract law is contract law, and if it says that and something happens like he's saying and we haven't paid, anyways, is there some wiggle room that we need to put in there just so I hear what the operator is saying, and I just want to make sure that he's not going to be, with that contract language, liable if someone gets bit by a dog, or, you know what I'm saying, like, it's the way it's written. I'm just worried about the legal.
Well, I mean, it's really a scope question in terms of what do you want from the service provider, really, more than legal. I was just looking at 400-3, which talks about rules and regulations for Atwater and Atwater Park. And there's some reference to rules that are enumerated by and approved by the board. And I think we had a list of those, or some kind of handbook that we used to use with the county. And I think my understanding of the language that was proposed was that we continue in the same vein with the service provider here in the same manner that it was done in the county. But certainly, I mean, it's a policy question, not a legal question. If we decide that, you know, we want our guards focusing 100% on, say, you know, the water and rescue issues, and if they see a dog, we're going to ask them to call the police department and come have them issue a citation. Sure, we could do that. But that, when you say ensure all village rules and regulations pertaining to the beach are observed, it could be just that. It could be picking up the phone and saying, send somebody over here to remove this person because they're not appropriately here. Or we certainly would never ask the service provider to chase someone necessarily off village property, but to report that if they see somebody off the village property on the private property. I mean, you know, they come back here, but you know, call the police department. You know, these kids wandered up the way and go get them. You know, but so it's really more of a scope question, I
I think it just means call that. That's what
think. Yeah, I mean, it could be.
And you also have the problem of, you know, what's private property, because if they're out in the where it's not private property.
Or within the ordinary high water mark.
And,
Right.
but we don't want to get into this kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I think that that was helpful clarification, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Trustee Menta. So what you're saying to us is that this language doesn't need to be clarified?
Yeah, well, I mean,
We're saying observed can be handled by also them reaching out to other agencies if they observe the behavior.
absolutely.
Just so I'm clear, I want to make sure that I have the same understanding that all of you do.
I would think, drinking on the beach, you know, they can't enforce intoxicating, drinking in public park, because police officers gonna have to come and write a ticket. They can say, you know, you may instruct them to say it's not legal, or some instruction, but they aren't gonna be able to enforce it.
Yeah, the rest of the matter.
Yeah, they don't want
16 and
to.
17
Well, that's what I was going to say, considering that they are underage, that would be a delicate situation.
Yeah,
We're not going to make a citizen's arrest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
We've got an issue here, please
It's
don't.
that's another good point.
yeah.
So, yes,
May I ask a question? I'm just wondering, then, because it seems to be, if my math is right, a 40% increase over the budgeted amount. On number 2B, the staffing levels, is this common protocol, or is this the staffing level that the county had? I mean, there are many days that this would certainly be a lot more lifeguards than people.
That's taken right from what the county was doing.
Yeah, Tyler, could you address that, because I asked that question, thank you, I asked that question also, like, it seemed, or like, I think it says 2, I didn't get.
2 and then 3 and then 2, could you bring the number down, the staffing level a bit on some
Yes.
days, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to come closer to your budget number?
And I think your response, and maybe you can clarify for us, but was, that's what we have now, or that's what we've always had.
I mean, the staffing levels, this is comparable to what Milwaukee County provided. If that's what you're asking?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
When you do rain days and stuff, where there's, I mean, you're gonna be out there every day, rain,
Are you asking me?
yeah.
Well, it says in the agreement that I would regulate the staff depending on what. Now, some days there might be work to do and I'll just have them do some work. If it's raining and windy, you know, I would determine what's going to happen with the staffing levels. But keep in mind, there's sort of two conversations going on here. One is about activities that would require increased staffing, right? If we're going to be regulating the borders of the beach, I would need people on staff just to do that. Not responsible for swimmers, not responsible for watching the water. So that would increase the staff. And some days, let's face it, some Tuesdays are going to be hot and there'll be a lot of people down there. So I'd rather play that by ear as the day goes, and perhaps increase or decrease depending on the property.
I think it's important to remember that this is a fixed number, 24,000. It's not like they will be billing us for hours worked. So, you know, if there's times that there's less people there, it's not changing what the village contribution is. We're having a set number. Same thing if there's an increased need, it's still a set number for the village. So, does that help?
It does, and is that how we always did it?
Yes.
In the contract, item 2F states the service provider will provide a proof of liability insurance and workers' comp, but there is no indication here what an acceptable level of liability insurance is.
Is there a standard? I thought it said 2 million, but it could have been a different file.
Nathan, do you have it?
Well, it doesn't, I mean, to a certain extent, because of the municipality's immunity. And
That was my second question.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as not specified, but.
Yeah, but we go on and the contract goes on in section 7 says nothing contained intends as a waiver to village to rely on immunities, limitations, liability may contain in stats 893 to 80. But that's regarding the village's immunity, not a contractor in the village.
That's
And you do state in the memo that the reason it's more expensive is because of the amount of liability they have to take out.
but we don't, it's not, I'm just curious what that amount is. If they come and say, we've got a $10,000 limit of liability,
It's more than that. It'll be more than that, Paul. I've got a quote, I didn't bring it tonight, but I'm sure it's at least $1 million.
So can we just put that in there of 1 million, you know, if that's the right number,
I don't know if that's right. My question simply was if we specified, or should we specify a limit? I'm not prepared to state what I limit should be. I'm not qualified to say that question.
Yeah, in our last committee meeting, I recall that we talked about it being $1 million because that's our standard requirement for,
Sort of that way.
yeah, for events. And that's how it's determined.
Did you want to have that?
I think we should.
So you add that,
Okay with that?
service provider will provide proof of at least $1 million of liability insurance. I mean, workers' comp is just legal limits.
We say that in our special privilege permit, you know what I'm saying, like in our application, we probably should just remain consistent.
Do we have a motion to approve this agreement? Does someone make
There's
a
no
motion?
motion.
I'm going to make a motion.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were looking at something else. Okay, so it's clarified, with the air, $1 million.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's at least that.
Okay. All right, any
Can
other?
I make a motion now?
Yeah.
All right, great. Did you want me to change this motion that's on here, Rebecca?
No, but if you could repeat it, that would be great.
I will do that. Okay, I move to enter into a 1-year service agreement as proposed with Coastline Services LLC to provide lifeguard services at Atwater Beach for 2018. Do I need to mention the one now? With the understanding they will provide proof of liability insurance at least of $1 million.
Second.
Discussion? So, where are you getting these folks? And I'm totally impressed.
So the high school, and I have some connections in the swimming world, got some high school students, some college students. And I've got a lot of people interested, so far it looks like I've got a good source of reliable employees.
Don't let the county know where these
I know.
Keep them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Any other discussion?
Who's the second?
Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the motion stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I remember that.
President Johnson?
It's now time for a break.
Before you scoot,
Thank you.
I didn't hear you have any comments one way or another about what we ended up actually doing and saying. It's not just, we're interested in it.
I would love to do it.